So back in 2019, I attempted to make a giant homemade Oreo cookie by using flour, eggs, and crushed powdered Oreos. In this video, instead of making a giant Oreo cookie, I'm going to attempt to create a delicious, simple to make Oreo cake. This time, instead of using flour and eggs, I'll be using baking powder and milk. Right now, I'm using a silicone talisman to scoop out the cream filling from all the Oreo cookies. After I'm done separating all the cookies from the cream, it's time to crush the cookies into powder. And since I don't have a food processor, I just use a Ziploc bag and a rolling pin. There might be small amounts of crumbs left over, but that's okay, the cookies will dissolve once you add in the warm milk. But before we do that, let's add our second ingredient of 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Then the last ingredient will be the warm milk. I like to use a whisk tool to mix and stir my ingredients together because I'm old school that way. Once the mixing is done, grab a round metal baking pan, then coat it with some baking spray. Then after that, get a piece of parchment paper, then place it onto the pan. Make sure the parchment paper doesn't have any wrinkles. Don't do a sloppy job like I just did here. But if there is no way around it, you can always cut the edges of the cake. Okay, so moving on to the next step, it's time to pour in the, I guess I'll call it an Oreo cookie dough. Just don't try scooping the Oreo cookie dough out of the bowl using a whisk tool like I did. Use a silicone talisman instead. I managed to correct my mistake when I realized I wasn't getting most of it out of the bowl and into the pan. So let's bake this Oreo cake in the oven and set the temperature to 300 degrees. And you want to make sure you don't over bake the cake. So wait about 10 or 15 minutes. Get a clean toothpick to poke a hole in the middle to see if the inside is too soft or not. If the solid of the cake is just right, then it is okay to take it out of the oven. At this point, you want to allow your cake to cool down to prevent it from falling apart. We want it to be easy enough to flip it over onto a plate and out of the baking pan. I like to be cautious about carefully removing the parchment paper because I didn't know if the paper was stuck on the cake or not. I know my cake might look rough around the edges, but like I said earlier, you can always cut the edges off to make it look clean. But since this is the bottom layer of the cake, we don't want to cut it just yet. Remember the cream fillings? I had them saved on the side on purpose, because now the time has come to place them into the microwave, set the time for 1 minute. And once that's done, ladies and gentlemen, behold the second layer of the cake. Mashed potatoes? Yeah, I guess because the cookie crumbs were still attached, it just looks like mashed potatoes, but trust me, it's not. So once the cream filling is done being melted from the microwave, quickly pour it on top of the cake before it cools down and becomes solid. At this point, I already made another Oreo cake placed on top of the other one. Before anybody that is watching this video says anything, let me be the first to point out, yes, I know, the cake has a crack, and that is because I was too impatient to allow the cake to cool down. I just wanted to see my friend's reaction when I had them on FaceTime. I didn't catch it on film, but I thought it was amusing when they first saw the Oreo cake. Alright guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoy watching. Plus, I like to give all the credit to a YouTube channel called Emma's Goodies. You'll find her link in the description below. And I also want to point out, I haven't made any content over a month because of the COVID-19, but I like to give you guys a sneak peek on the next video I'm working on, and here it is. What you guys just witnessed is a remake based from the original video I made back in 2006 called Take On Me / Family Guy Attempt. If you haven't seen that video yet, go check it out. I'll leave the link in the description below. And once you're done watching, you might find positive feedback of viewers suggesting me to make a remake of this video. And after giving a huge thought, I'll gladly make one for all of my viewers out there. But anyways, hit that subscribe button and smack that bell icon if you want to stay tuned for that remake. Till then, stay home, stay safe. See you next time. Peace.